Hello everyone, this is Gary at Gary's Place. Things are still a little bit slow, so haven't really had a chance to put much more content on. Unfortunately, I am right in the middle of my semester at school, so time is not a friend of mine right now. But this is Gary's Place. Welcome to Gary's Place. I'm going to try to keep this all in frame here. Unfortunately, I think that's a little better. Unfortunately, I have not set my printer back up, and I was planning on making a stand for my camera, so I'm just kind of doing a little makeshifty deal here, so please bear with me. I'll try to keep this in frame as much as possible. Now, I wanted to do a quick review of a couple of hot ends that I bought in keeping with this channel and how pretty much everything I do is on the cheap. So I went on eBay and bought two of the cheapest hot ends that I could find. I was looking for all metal, and the two that I ordered were listed as all metal. So I'll go through all that for you. Now, I think this was like $7, maybe $8, $9 with tax. It's supposed to be an all metal hot end. As you can see, it's the Creality version here. Mounting holes are for that, and to be quite honest, when I got this in, I was a little excited because I printed a fang. You guys can see that here. Now, this print did not go as planned. That's due to the material, but I printed a whole bunch of these fangs and just was not having any luck getting them going, and at the time I didn't realize that the hot end of my Sunlu does not fit in there. It is a very small little gap there, as you can see, but this one fits perfectly in it. I did try that out. Now, the reason I had such a hard time getting this thing to print, I realized was because it didn't really have a whole lot of, it really didn't have a whole lot of surface area to kind of grab the bed, so I always ended up with a failure. It either came off the bed, or it shifted, or got layer shifts, or whatever. So, as I went back on there, I was looking for something that might have a little more grip to the bed. And, well, I think this is pretty ugly. It's kind of like a viper head on it. It did have a nice large surface to grab the bed, and did seem to work a lot better. Now, I don't really think that printing this would have been an issue had it not been for this crappy Sunlu Silk PLA. It just, I don't know. I never really had a whole lot of luck with this stuff. This was one of the better prints I got out of it, but either way, I was kind of happy because I finally got to try it. I've just been kind of something that's been thrown on the shelf. So back to this hot end. So all metal. So you can see it even has a steel nozzle there. I was kind of interested to try that. But just want to take this apart for you though real quick. I'll try to keep this on camera if I can. Now, I've already taken this apart, and very cheap. Just for starters, the price was worth it. I mean, the screws, they're not exact size, so my screwdriver wobbles around, and they were very tight when I first got it, so it was a bear to get these out. But I was a little weird about how they were tight. I kind of had to rotate from side to side, and then, say for instance, I'll screw this back down a little bit, and then that'll give enough teeter for this to come loose. And I was a little shocked by that when I first took it apart, but I said, okay, let's see what more we have to find here. So I did like the idea of having the two screws here because I did see a couple other all metal hot ends that were of the same type. And in essence, the problems everybody said that they had with them was that these two pieces were kind of press fit together, which to me kind of sucks because then you don't really have a whole lot of, it's obviously going to be a temporary thing there. So I did like these screws. I thought it was a good idea to have that kind of pinch down in there just to add some stability, but let's see if I can get a good shot of this. You look down the holes, sorry about the flash, they don't exactly line up. And looking at this, I've decided that when they drilled these holes, they weren't in line with where the heatsink actually sits in here. So big design flaw right off the bat. Then they used cheap screws to put it together. So then I did notice that this set screw here, let me get a little better view here. This set screw here was loose. And I was like, geez, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that loose? So yeah, I pulled this all apart. This unscrews out of here. And I looked down, you can see that. I thought, geez, for an all-metal hot end, that's a pretty big hole. My filament's got to be, it's got to be more than twice the size of the filament. So I ran over and grabbed a little piece of hose, you can see here. And wouldn't you know, that sucker slides right through it. Now, I don't know exactly how you call this an all-metal hot end if the Bowden tube goes all the way to the nozzle. That just doesn't seem right to me. You know, and I really, you know, with how cheap this was, I really didn't have high hopes for it. But I thought, hey, you know, it says it's all metal, but, you know, then you can say, okay, well, it's all metal, but then again, that's plastic. So technically it's not all metal if you want to go that route. Being that they left out all the other components. So honestly, I think I'm gonna steal the nozzle out of this and give that a shot. It looks like it was well drilled, so I'm really worried on that end. Let's just hope nothing sticks to it. I doubt it's well made. So moving on, we have our second one here. Came in this nice packaging. Get this out of the way. And let me get a little higher here. There's probably a mess behind me, so I will apologize for that. And like I said, I'm in the middle of school right now, so I'll get this opened up. Now, this is a generic E3D. It was only a couple of dollars more than that one. I think altogether I paid like $13 or something like that for this. But it comes with a new heater cartridge, and they gave you the option of 24 volt or 12 volt. It comes with a boot. There's a thermistor in there. It's just a regular old brass nozzle there. And let me come to that. So I probably will never use this fan. I didn't really waste my time taking it off yet, but the description says it's a 12 volt fan, and of course I don't know why you'd put a 12 volt fan in if it has a 24 volt heater cartridge. That just seems kind of dumb to me, because obviously you're running 24 volts here if you're running 24 volts here, right? So when I had my issues with this one, I thought, well, I guess technically I could probably just change the throat there, the heat break. Searched online, and honestly, they don't really have a lot of good options for this. Now, to me, the problem is where where this hose or tube sits in here. Now, if you look down here, this goes about a quarter, maybe half. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Little camera issue there. So, anyways, I found some of these heat breaks online, but I really couldn't find anything cost effective. I mean, the designs of them to me were pretty poor, just because I didn't like where that tube sat in here. To me, I would think that the tube would sit probably halfway up the excuse me, the cooling fin, or the cooling block. But most of them sit either right here at the bottom, which to me seems like you're asking for an issue, or the tube's longer, goes all the way to the top, and it just touches up here, which to me, being that the bore size is not exactly the same as the filament, it's slightly larger. To me, you're just asking for a problem if you have that go up too high, because if you do get a heat creep and you do get this plugged up, you're going to end up having to drill it out or burn it out, or, to me it looks like a problem. My thought was it should be right in between, so probably, a quarter, maybe a quarter of the way up this cooling block, something like that, just to get it far enough away, but not too far to where you couldn't overcome an issue if you had one. So, looking at this E3D Clone, we can see it sits exactly where I want it to. Not all the way down to, the end of, or right in the middle of the heat break. It's pretty much, a third of the way up this tube. So, there's a good distance for the heat to dissipate before it gets to that point. And honestly, I don't think that you'll have much problem with this. I think this is a good product. Now, my only problem is that because of the style of this, that Creality deal would have probably just screwed right into place with no issue. I have to print, a whole new setup. But the good thing is I can print it, so that's what I will do. And I will update you guys, as I progress through this. It's probably not going to be until I am done with school, but just wanted to, kind of give you guys my 2 cents here. I think this will be a decent product. Don't know for sure. And as for this one, I was thinking about maybe using it as just a regular hot end, because to me this is not all metal. This, however, I think would fit the bill would fit for an all metal. And hey, the cool thing is I got a cartridge out of it, and it was only a couple dollars more than that one. If anybody's interested, I can look up the link for that and post it if you like. If not, I mean, it's pretty much just the cheapest one they have out there on eBay. Not a wonderful product, not overly perfectly machined or anything, but you know what, honestly, I think this will do just fine for my purposes. And again, like I said, I will update you guys later on once I get my printer put together, but unfortunately that's looking more like maybe another month or so. Depends on if things calm down with school or not. So hope this was informative. Hope you guys got something out of it. If there's any questions anybody has, please leave them down below. I pretty much always actually, I don't think I've had a comment yet that I haven't gotten back to somebody about, and usually about a day at most. It usually doesn't take me that long to get back to you guys. Any questions, feel free. Please hit that subscribe button. Always looking for more subscribers. And I will get you guys more content as things go by. Just wanted to add one PS. I almost completely forgot about this. On this unit here, let's see, that was that block there. The other thing that I did do was I wanted to put it back together after I took it apart initially. I did notice that with these holes not being centered over those holes that obviously it wasn't going together well. And I don't know if this will help anybody, just in case they end up in an issue with one of these things. Leave the set screw loose. That will give just a little bit of play, because I'll show you here. There's just a little bit of play. It's not a whole lot, and to be quite honest, I was thinking if I did use this, I'd probably get some of that, that heat sink tack. Just put just a small amount of that on there and shove that in there because you need good surface area. That's where the set screw comes into place. You would put that in there, and then the set screw would push it against the back. Now that's not great, a heat sink ability, just because you're only touching the back portion of this tube, which is probably a small radius. But if you were to, say, get some of that heat sink tack, it's that tacky stuff that they put on top of transistors and stuff like that. You can, or I'm sorry, diodes, not transistors. You can put a little bit of that around there, and then you'll increase the amount of area that's touching there. But when I went to put this back together, I was not able to get the screws in at all, because these holes are just that far off. But if you loosen this set screw as far as it'll go, slide that in, you should be able to tighten those down. It's still going to be an effort. It's still cross-threading, like I think one of these screws. Yeah, you can see there's like a thread missing right about there. So, it is doing some damage right off the bat, which kind of sucks because it's a new product, but, just very poorly made. So if that helps anybody, I know I remember that I mentioned at the beginning that this set screw was loose once I got the screws out, and that's why I personally went through, put the screws back in, and then tightened this down as far as it would go. But again, with how loose this is, it's not going to do its job properly unless there's some type of material in there that's going to transmit the heat through there. So, thanks for stopping at Gary's place. You're always welcome, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.